Well, hello. I am back. It's elevation moment time with your girl, Coach B. I'm back in the house on today. I hope you are ready. It has been some time since we have been on. And let me just tell you from the start that I am super excited. It's been a place of rest. It's been a place of clarity. It's been a place of reconditioning. And so today we are coming back. I can't tell you everything that's going to happen through Elevation Moments coming back, but I can tell you that we are back today. And it is Tuesday, y'all. It is absolutely Let's Talk Tuesday. And before we get into that, I want to share some things for those of you that are watching for the first time. I want to just introduce myself to you by means of another way. Here is Victoria Elevates. Taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. So just in case you forgot who we were, that's a little intro to telling you about some of the things that we do with Victoria Elevates. And we got some new things that's coming in 2026 that we have been holding back on. And we decided that if we're going to come back, we're going to come back full force. And we're going to do what we need to do to get it done. How about that? And so coming back, let me just kind of give you guys, for those of you that have been watching behind the scenes, we took a little time off. We lost a very good close friend of mine in September. We was working on a project that I can tell those that are watching right now, there will be some evidence of the hard work that we have done on this side. You'll see that start transforming in the next couple of weeks. As we bring that project to an open and close, if you will, because this is the thing. Even if it takes me 200 years, I'm going to get it done. One thing I'm not going to do is ever hold myself back from doing what I'm supposed to do because I'm waiting on somebody else's time, right? And so, Elevation Moments is about us talking to people, encouraging people, giving them tidbits and tools of what you can expect in life. And this is the thing. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't mix words with it. Some people say I'm a little rough around the edges. Well, maybe I am. I'm sorry. I do apologize if that's what you feel. But at the same token, it is a place, Elevate Not Tolerated means exactly what it is. Elevate Not Tolerated, if y'all forgot what it means, is Elevate and Tolerate means to rise above anything and everything and anyone that has held us down and has caused us to feel inadequate and done so unpleasantly. But with Elevated Not Tolerated, we're here to help you to rise above all of those things and make it to your next level, because it's time for you to be embraced and educated and empowered to be elevated and not tolerated. So that's what we do here. That's what Elevated Not Tolerated is about. That's what we work for. And that's what we're going to continue to do until My good friend, Lady Carrie Nelson Price is in the house. She been on me for months, y'all, to come back, and we're so glad that we are here this afternoon with my good friend. Look, y'all need to start watching for this chick. Don't be sleeping on her, because guess what? Live with Miss Carrie is coming back, y'all. Y'all better be ready for her. I think she's got some powerful stuff that's going to be hitting the airways with you, and you don't want to miss her. And she's one of our good big supporters here at Elevated Not Tolerated, and everything we do with Victoria Elevates. And so, Miss Carrie, to you, this show is dedicated. So we appreciate you from the highest of always being very supportive of what we do. Now, guys, let me tell you something. I want to be able to give you some ups to some things. And so if you'll see what's going across the screen, you'll see what we're about, and you can always go back and check that out and review what we do here. But Victoria Elevates, we're back. Elevation Moments is back. We're back to give you some information. We got a lot of things that's happening. But today, I want you to go out there and tag somebody. Tell somebody that we're back. And the reason why is because of what our theme is for today. Tuesdays here on Elevation Moments is Less Talk Tuesday. Let me say that again for the people in the back and the roaches crawling house for. Less Talk Tuesday. That's what Tuesday represents, is less talk. You heard it correct. I didn't say it incorrectly. I said exactly what I meant. Less Talk Tuesday. So coming back to doing Elevation Moments, what has been gone through some trials and tribulations in the last year, 2024. We didn't do a whole lot because of things that we were going through. And one thing I would never try to do is to give you something that I can't maintain, right? Or something that is half done. Yep. The hell you was talking to. But this is the thing. We came back. We've been gone for some time. We had some things that we had to take care of. Like I told you, we lost a very dear co-worker of mine. Many of you have heard me talk about Dr. Simone. Dr. Simone passed last September. She was not only my therapist, she was my co-partner. She was one of the people that helped keep me afloat, if you will, with the things that I was doing. She was a very strong supporter, and losing her was like losing my sister. She was like losing my best friend. She was like losing the skin off my back. And so when I tell you that, being able to go through that process. Well, hey, Michelle, how are you? Welcome to Elevation Moments. Michelle B. Hammond, Dr. Michelle B. Hammond. She's upgraded since we were last here. But we, during that process of grieving her, we went through some other medical challenges as well. And not that I have to tell you anything or reason other than I won't hear. And y'all didn't even miss me. Miss Carrie was the only one to miss me, y'all. But when I tell you that we took that time, and we're still taking time. We're not fully up and running yet. We're taking some time, and we're going to continue to take time, because time heals certain things. And as many of you know, I also lost my father in December. So it's been back to back tragedy, trauma that triggers a lot of things. And we'll even have some people on the Uncensored Conversation that will be talking about the real steps of PTSD and what it really looks like on the real front. We got a lot of people that talk about a lot of stuff, but they ain't never experienced Jack. Okay, so we got some people that will be coming on Uncensored Conversation that will be returning in February, and we will have some people on the show that will be talking about grieving. We will have people on the show that will talk about what you need to prepare yourself for PTSD, because it is a real thing, and you don't have to be in the war to get it. Your war in your mind is big enough. Can I just tell you, the war in your mind is big enough that will keep you from doing what you need to do. Now, we've got some other projects that's coming out. And, like I said, we had to take a back seat. We had to rest, because when you're the one-man show, it's a lot. And that's no excuse. But what I will tell you is we are back. You will see us post what times we're going to be on throughout the program. When I tell you that this is a time where people will not understand why we're doing what we're doing. But when I tell you that we are back for a purpose, we are back with a force to be reckoned with. Okay. And so I want to give you a few minutes of break. So let me run back to our commercial because some of you may have missed it, because I want you to know why we are who we are with Victoria Elevates.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Yes. So we want to get into some things today because it is Let's Talk Tuesday. It's Let's Talk Tuesday. And you're saying, well, what does that really mean? Well, give yourself a hand clap, because we're bringing everything back. We're bringing some things to the table that we may have never brought back before. So let's go ahead and get us into this. Yes, you gotta have that good old drum rolls and those ding ding bells, right? So I want to tell you that these are some points that we give to you all during our broadcast that's going to help you go where you need to go on a regular day basis, right? And so I have been in a season of quiet elevation, y'all, growing and listening, rebuilding, and getting clear about my assignments. Right. And when you have multiple assignments, you already know that already brings up some other things. It makes your heartbeat faster. It makes it speed up just a little bit. And then all of a sudden you hear a little bounce in your ounce. You hear that little bounce sign that goes through. And then all of a sudden, you hear that the symbols come up in your mind. Well, that's what we did. We had to take some time. And then especially after our father passed, I knew that I had to stop for me. And if you've never had to stop for yourself, let me tell you, it's a challenge when you have to admit to yourself that you're doing. So this is the day we start talking about Let's Talking Tuesday. And let me tell you what that really brings up to all of us if we take note, if we take lesson, and if we follow the process through, right? So when we started thinking about what we wanted to talk about today, I said, okay, it's time for people to understand that sometimes, let me say this, your heart starts beating, you start feeling that pump up in your heart. All of a sudden, this is what happens, because sometimes less talking brings more peace. Let's talk about that peace component. Because when you start actually thinking about these things, it's gonna give you less opportunity to deal with drama, right? Less explain. It protects your purpose, y'all. Let me just say that. When you are giving out less, it protects who you are. It keeps you and your peace intact. And so for some of us, that takes time. And for me, it took months. It's been taking some time to get back into the swing of things. I'm never going to tell you that I'm not going to do something and I might not give a deadline, right? Sometimes though, when you are going through that process, the less you say, the more at peace you will be, right? When I tell you that is what has been happening to me for the last couple of months. Now, I apologize. I got people asking me how to get in. All I can say is watch the replay if you can't get there now. And when I tell you that the key is less talking, and it can start your moments of elevating to your next. A lot of people don't get it. A lot of people don't want to understand it. But that's the reason why this has this veil has got to bring on your head. It's got to go off in you to let you know it's time for you to bounce. It's time for you to bounce with certain things that you're dealing with. It doesn't matter what it looks like to anybody else. It matters to what you are trying to get to, right? So I want to tell you that here's one point that I want you to go ahead and write this down. I know somebody's writing down anyway, because behind the scenes, people write down stuff all day long. And it doesn't bother me because you can't use what you don't have copyrighted, right? But I got everything copyrighted, just so you know. To my fellow podcasters out there, if you are giving out information and you don't want it to be stolen, go ahead and make sure that you copyright it and let people know that you copyright it. Like my good friend Carrie Price here has got her trademark. Baby, you can't do nothing now unless you go through that check. Carrie, I'm so proud of you. You've had an amazing couple of years, 23, 24, and 25. But baby, 26 is getting ready to show people what you're working with. So when we start talking about talking too much can steal your peace, y'all. That's the first point I want y'all to get. Talking too much can steal your peace. Talking too much is like leaving the door wide open and anything and everybody can walk in. When you talk too much, we have to, when we talk too much, we explain things that don't need to be explained. You tell stuff that you don't even need for people to know about, but you've given that open door policy because you kept talking. One of the things I learned in 25 was people that I was associated with, people that I was doing things for and with. I gave too much information before I found that they could handle it, right? Sometimes we're giving out information thinking that we're in the helping mode when actually we're killing our own selves, right? And I know some of you say, well, that's what it's all about. We're supposed to help our brothers and sisters. Well, let me just give you a big hand clap for doing that name, right? Because later it's going to hit you right in your heart. And then this is going to, the symbols are going to go off in your head and your mind, and you're going to be like, well, what did I do? We tend to invite in other opinions that we didn't ask for. If you have a plan and you've got it all mapped out and you sat down and you developed a goal for it, go with what you know. But when you're talking too much, you leave the door open for other people to give you their opinions. And sometimes an opinion is not what you need. You just need a listening ear and a person who's got good common sense. Again, let me just applaud those of you who think that everybody got good sense. Can I tell you, they do not. Not everybody does. And that's the reason why you have to be careful with information you're giving out if it's too soon. Be silent and keep it closed, right? Look, you tell your kids this all the time. If you tell everyone your secret, it's not a secret anymore. Guess what? You should take your own medicine because you're doing the same thing, my friend. So this is a time where you need to slow your roll with certain things. When we give people access to our peace, guys, that's what happens. They take it. So it's time to get back on track and not do those things. And one of the things that I can give you today is a tool called pause before you speak. Let me just say that again. Pause. And give yourself a little place. It's time for you, my friends, to pause it. Right? Do this. You can do this simple test before you start talking. Right? Before you talk about anything, ask yourself, does this need to be said right now? Good question. Does this need to be said right now? Because if it doesn't, you're wasting your energy and you're giving away things that you don't need to give away. Okay? Excuse me. Does this need to be said to that person right now, or to the individual, or to your audience right now? If you answered no to any of that question, then don't say it. It's plain and simple. You have to learn how to protect it. You have to learn to pause before you speak. And before we get into this next segment, I'm going to break us out for a little commercial. What do you think? Y'all ready for a little commercial? Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see if you're ready for it. Let me see if you are really paying attention and getting your notes ready.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
right, that was just a quick break. I just wanted to get a swig of water in because there's certain things that when you're on the camera, you really do need to be careful on watching what you do. Hey, Sister Monique, my girl, y'all. Mojo in the house. Mo in the house. Mojo in the house. Mojo, congratulations on to you with your new endeavors. And we are only waiting for you to come back onto this Sister Conversation and sing enough. Guys, look, go out there and tap into my good friend, my good sister. This songbird nest to Billie Holiday and all them other fancy Black women out there. This chick right here got it going on. Welcome to the show, Monique. Thanks for being here, my friend. When I tell you that there's time for us to keep going into what we're trying to do, when we learn how less talking does us more good, when we close our mouth and not let everybody in on the scenes, you'll understand how important that being quiet is. And this brings us to point 2 of the day. Silence is not weak, y'all. Some of y'all thinking that people are quiet and that they don't know what they're doing. They've given up the ship. They're not participating anymore. Can I tell you? Let me give you a little information. Yes, let me tell you that silence is not being scared. Silence is actually being wise. Go ahead and write that down. Silence is not being scared. Silence is being wise. This is the reason why, my friends, when you are listening, when you're being quiet, you're able to listen. Right? When you get all the fog in your head and people talking in your ear 24 hours a day and texting you 100 times in a split minute, look, that clogs your brain. So get somewhere and be silent. Silent is not, again, that indicates that you're scared. Is actually proven to people that you're being wiser than you ever have been. Silence does also give you the opportunity to have a thinking moment, gives you time to think about your next move. Silence sometimes being quiet just means that you're being protecting what? Yourself and your peace. Write that down again. Silence doesn't mean that you're weak. It means that you're smart. See, through this time of silence, we're dealing with the multiple deaths of my family, my best friend, and my health, and other issues that I'm not going to discuss on here because ain't none of your business. It's none of your business. It's none of your business. I'm going to give myself a hand clap and let me tell y'all too much sometimes. But this is the true fact of the matter. When I stopped and just had quiet time to myself, I realized that I am the most important person in the program. Nobody else is more important than me. And that's what you got to get to. It's nothing wrong with being selfish enough to say, I'm important and I got to put some things on hold. It's actually a very smart move. Because what do you tell your kids? Some people don't yell all the time. They think first. See, when you're talking to your kids, think about those rules and things that you told your kids about, because that's what they're going to be looking for. And that's what they're going to be using. Let me tell you what, there's a quick tool that you can use for silent minutes, right? Come on, try to work with me. Try this with me. I want you to be able to do it too, because we're getting ready to give more bounce to the ounce, y'all. We're getting ready to do some things. And so some quick tools that you can use for silent minutes is this. You ready? Write this down. I'm giving you tips and tools for what? Let's Talk Tuesday. Give yourself 5 quick minutes before responding to a text or a call. Now, I know some of you, don't even give back. You're ready to jump right on it and respond to it. Can I tell you that's one of the weakest things that we can do? If we're trying to practice less talk, if we're trying to practice self-peace and self-awareness, giving yourself 5 quick minutes before you respond to any text or call will eliminate confusion. It will eliminate distractions, and it will eliminate you having to delete that person's phone number off your phone. I don't know about you, but some of you need to delete some things anyway in 2026. Yep, I'm giving you some help on today. It's important. Stop. These are some tools that I'm giving you. The first one was give yourself 5 minutes, right? Now, this is another tool. When you're saying silence, when you're silencing people, places, or things around you, you don't have to give everybody an explanation. I start off by telling y'all why I was out and what all that, because I wanted to test you to see if you were going to be paying attention. Because people will pay more attention to what you're saying if it's longer than 5 minutes than if you just said what you had to say and keep going. The average person's time span for attention is very limited. And so the more you explain, the more you are causing confusion, not in your own mind, but in that individual's mind as well. Another tool, stop defending what you say. Look, people are going to choose to believe and grasp whatever they want regardless. 90% of the people know nothing about what's going on behind you but you. Yeah, I know. You thought everybody was paying attention to what you said. Can I be honest with you? People don't pay attention to everything you say. They pay attention to what you do, right? That's that symbol to let you know that's a brainstormer right there. You have the opportunity to show them versus defending what you believe in, right? The other thing for that silent minutes is take a deep breath. Just breathing and thinking, breathing and thinking, breathing and thinking, right? Just breathe. Everybody do this with me. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Guess what that does? That keeps your mind clear and it keeps you out of the fog with everybody else. Peace comes faster when you stop rushing to speak. Now, I'm a fast speaker anyway, because that's how I was raised up. That's what I did. And so when I learned that it takes more energy for me to continue to speed up than it continues for me to slow down, right? We have the opportunity to do exactly what we need to do with less conversation, right? And so the third point I want to give you today, y'all ready? Have you been keeping up? Well, if you haven't, you have to go back and watch the replay. The third point is this. Less talk makes your actions louder. Less talk makes your actions louder. Let me say that again. Less talking makes your action more effective. Miss Carrie, less talking makes you get that food. Look, Miss Carrie has another whole business where she is the lady in the kitchen, baby. She can put you an event together with no thought about it at all. But she doesn't do a lot of talking while she's doing it. Baby, she's putting that stuff together so we can make sure that we're going to eat on time and you get that 1 cup of water as you're going out the door. That's right, 1 cup of water if you come to my event, not 2, but 1. But the thing is, when you do less talking, you can do more things. That's the reason why I'm not going to be on here long, because I got other things that do, baby. What you do speaks louder than what you say. What you do speaks louder than what you say. Let me say that one more time, because I know somebody's heart is really big. When you stop talking, it gives you an opportunity to do more, right? More. We work smarter, not harder, right? So when you slow down and stop talking so much, you're able to complete more assignments. The other thing about that simple thing of less means more is you don't have to announce every move. One of the things that I learned in 25, because of things that happened that was out of my control, I had spoke about things in advance that I was not able to complete because of other restraints. So don't announce everything. That's why I didn't do a whole intro to we're coming in and all of that kind of good stuff when we came back, because something could have happened that would have prevented me from coming on today. And the first thing your little negative minds would have said was, well, she told me such and such. So if you announce less, you can create more. Announce less, create more. Let me say that again. Announce less and create more. Hey, Bishop Harris, how you doing? Thank you for joining my bishop in the house. Y'all better be nice now. Well, I tell you that when you do less, when you absolutely do less, when you do and say announce less things, and you're able to could do more things. So let me say that again. In order to create more opportunities, learn to less talk and make sure you have more action. The less you say, the more you're able to do. You don't have to announce everything, right? Now, this is the other part. You don't need approval for everything. You don't have to prove anything to anybody but yourself. Prove it to yourself, right? And this is the thing. We tell our kids all the time, be your own self. But in the same token, we're too worried about trying to please everybody, and you get left behind the curtain. When you talk less, you're able to prove yourself to yourself. You're able to meet those goals and objectives that you need to meet by keeping yourself quiet and being in tune and focused. Being in tune and focused will get you a whole lot further down the road than you announcing and getting permission from everybody else. This is the other thing. You don't have to explain your growth to anybody. Wait a minute. What do you mean? What is you trying to say? You do not have to tell everybody that you're growing. I'm telling you, let this happen for you. Your own drum roll will be your actions, what you do and how you operate. You don't need to explain to yourself that you got 199 degrees, because guess what? We're going to know it by when we see you walk across the stage, right? Allow your growth to be done and not explained. Why are you going back to school? None of your business. You don't have to tell everything. Let your actions be the final say. Your growth can be seen by if you was in my office right now, you see the certificates on the wall. I don't have to explain why I went back to school. I don't have to explain why I took a break. I just took a break. There was something that needed to be done. I had to do it. It was necessary for me to move on. The less you tell, the more you create, right? The less you tell, the more you create. Hey, Miss Regina, thanks for joining. Good to have you back in the house with us at Elevation Moments. When I tell you, the less you tell about what you're doing and why you're doing it, the more you will have the opportunity to lessen the stress of what other people think about it, right? So many times we are wanting to get approval from everybody else. We want everybody to know what we're going to do. But Bishop Harris, can I tell you, sometimes when you tell it all, you're also inviting in the enemies to come in and distract you from what you needed to do. The less you say, the more you're in control of your growth. The less you say, the more in control of your growth that you have. When you're able to just perform, when you're able to do. I remember my first book. I didn't tell everybody I was writing a book. I waited until I was already almost at the point where I was going to publish it and have it put out there. I didn't tell everybody. Why? Because people will distract you with their negativity. People will tell you that you shouldn't, couldn't, wouldn't do it. You're not qualified. It ain't time. It ain't your season. But you need to wait. You need to have some coffee and cookies over it. You need another scoop of ice cream. Can I tell you, sometimes you don't need anything. One thing that you may need is this right here. Let your heart lead you, not the focus of everybody else. Let your heart teach you, because this is the thing. If God gave it to you, it can't nobody take it away from you anyway, right? This is the thing. Stop trying to be somebody that you're not. Be yourself, right? And when you're being yourself, that gives you the opportunity to focus on your game plan. One of the things through the loss of my dad that I learned was I was focusing on everybody else during that time but myself. And what that caused was more stress on me. And you said, well, what do you mean? I spent more time explaining than I was resting. I was explaining why I needed to rest instead of just doing it, right? So when you stop telling everybody why you're doing something, or that you're getting ready to do something, You lessen the stress on you, right? You lessen the heartaches. When I stopped telling people about what I was going to do, because let me tell you something. Come on over here. Let me have a conversation with you real quick. I found out when I was telling people what I wanted to do and what I was about to do, they started telling me I shouldn't do it that way. Oh, don't go live every day. Oh, don't do this every day. Oh, don't do that every day. Oh, why would you have a class on that day? When I started telling people what I was going to do, it was a distraction because then they started writing down what I was doing to better what they were doing. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all for helping the team. I'm all for collaboration. Ask Miss Carrie. I'm always about collaborating with people, but there's sometimes you have to go to God. Yep, I'm going to bring that in now. Sometimes you need to go to God and say, is this the person I need to talk to about this? Is this the person that I need to reveal this? Let me tell you something. Sometimes you ain't got to do that. Sometimes you just need to stay in your corner. Bishop Harris, stay in your corner with your Bible and with the people that you know you can really trust is going to help you. Sometimes look, less is much. Less is much. Let's say it again. Everybody say this with me. Less is much. Less is much. If you give less information, you have more opportunity to do what you want to do. I'm finding that just about everything that people told me not to do, that's what they're doing. So what does that tell you? You can give people ideas that have not even been revealed yet. You have to ask yourself, is this idea for me or is it for everybody? There's a time and a season. The Bible says this now. There's a time and a season for all things, which tells me that there's sometimes you need to be quiet until God tells you to release it. That is your spiritual moment right there. Write that down because you may not get it again until Sunday. Check this out. It's all about you. Miss Carrie, you know I got to give them a little song. It's all about you. Yeah, it's all about you in this season. When you are developing who you are, it's time for you to take control of who? You. It's time for you to be able to experience the true value of who you are, right? We are in the first month. We're getting in the first month of the new year. And this is the fact of the matter. You have to start planning better for your goals and objectives, right? If you've been watching, and I know some of you nosy people have been watching, when you're watching behind the scenes, and I'm giving tidbits on how to do goal planning and how to plan your days and how to do some things, take that as an opportunity that I'm giving you advice, right? Because in 2026, all things ain't free no more. At the end of the day, when you learn how to plan effective goals, you're able to move it more effectively. Now, I'm going to close out with this, the last day that we left with, I think, back in 24. We introduced this in 23, and we started teaching it in 24. That was the 3S theory. I want you to be ready for this. The 3S theory. This is a theory that is a Elevation is a Victoria Elevates product. It cannot be reproduced. You can access to borrow some of the information, but you cannot use it in its entirety. Matter of fact, let me just tell you this. It's more bounce to that. More bounce to the house. Oh, different show. Sorry. Come back from Miss Carrie's show. She's got music. Look. The 3S theory is a theory that God allowed us to develop to help people. And I want you to write this down because you're going to see me talk about it more in 26. I'm going to bring it to the table in 26. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to give a whole class on it, right? So for those of you that have been wanting to know what the 3S theory is, how to operate it, how to utilize it. And this is the thing. You can not only utilize it in your social environment, you can use it in your church, you can use it in your relationships, you can use it in the grocery store. Look, you can use that theory just about anywhere once I teach you how to use the tool. So today I'm just going to give you a little bit of it. Okay. Hint, hint, come back another day. You might get more information. So the 3S theory is very simple. Very simple. Write this down because I know some of you always are writing, right? The 3S theory is this: silence, strategic plan to show up. Now, when I use this in the Christian environment, I even add another little piece to it. Silence for God's strategic plan for God to show up. See how easy you can develop this into your thinking patterns if you use it the right way? Silence, strategic plan for you to show up. Hey, Pastor Coley, thanks for joining. It's been a minute. When I tell you that when you use this theory, it will empower you. See, I just don't teach church biblical stuff on Sunday. I incorporate my practical thinkings in with all of the programs. It's up to you to decide how you want to use it. I'm here for all people, not some people, right? Not everybody can handle that. Not everybody understands that process. But when you take on the 3S theory, which is, again, it is a signature theory from people for elevated, not tolerated. So you have the access to release it. But the 3S theory is silence, strategic plan to show up. You said, well, how can you use it? I'm getting ready to tell you. You ready? So the quick tool to using the 3S pop theory is this. Write it down. Don't say it. First of all, that's the quickest way I can tell you. Write it down. Don't say it, right? Write it down. Don't say it. Silent. Be quiet. Close your mouth. Stop talking to everybody because everybody ain't got your back. Baby, let me just tell you, I learned that so hard last year. I thought the people that said they were going to be there to support me and move me on were nowhere to be found. And then as the year got closer, I really found out who was in the corner, right? So that's when God began to remind me of this 3S theory. He said, write it down and shut your mouth. Don't wait a minute. I know you didn't hear that. Let me make sure you hear this really good. Thank you. I wanted to make sure you understood what I was saying. Okay, so this, instead of talking, write your plan down. The Bible also says for us to make the vision and make it plain, right? So I'm telling you, this theory connects with all variables of your life. Write it down. Once you shut your mouth, you're able to hear some things really clearly. I'm sorry if I'm offending you by telling you to shut your mouth, then guess what? You can always do this. Bounce. That's right. You can always bounce. Now, this is the thing. The second part of it is write your feelings down. When you're writing things down, you have to write your feelings and get it out the way. And then the final place is to write your next step. I've taught you how to do this. I'll be teaching you how to do it again. Go back to some of our things that we did last week that we posted. We did some goal strategies for you last week in some of our postings. Go back and check it out. Now, guys, I know I can stay here for hours and talk to you, but guess what? Let's talk doesn't mean that I don't have to go either, because I do. So I want to tell you this. I want to sum up everything in one big bounce. Are you ready? Get ready. You are doing so good with that drum. I'm going to have to make sure you get another whole drum set. Yeah. And you are, yes, I know. Yep. You're gone good too. Okay. So this is the deal. Less talk doesn't mean you don't have a voice. It means the right words at the right time. Silence protects your peace. Strategy directs your movement. And showing up does the talking for you. When you can keep your mouth closed and show up, that tells everybody what you're working with. One of the reasons why I took a pause, I took a break from doing the things that I was doing was because I needed a break. I was burning myself out, y'all. I was causing myself stress. Can I tell you, stress will kill you. And you make your heart beat faster. But when you slow down and you do what you need to do, you accomplish a lot more by keeping your mouth closed and showing up for the party. I hope something has been said to you on this Let's Talk Tuesday, and you'll be able to have something that you can utilize for your next movement. When I tell you, standing on what you know will help you get to your next. It's been always my pleasure to come and talk to you on Elevation Moments. But again, I had to take a breather myself. For those of you that have sent me condolences, I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. To those of you that didn't give a rat's, thank you anyway as well. I appreciate you just as much because it took me less time to have to answer calls that wasn't really needed, right? But I want to tell you that I appreciate you all from the bottoms of my heart. Coming back to do Elevation Moments is such a pleasure to download to you some key points of how to personally develop your own self and increase your mobility, increase your longevity. My father lived for 98 years, and part of it was he said what he had to say and he kept it moving. And there's about 80% of the things that he didn't say, but those 80% of the things were revealed in time, right? I want you to be able to understand how important you are to yourself. That's what Elevated Not Tolerated is about, helping you grow. Because guess what? Elevated Not Tolerated means to rise above anything, everything, and anybody that has held us down and has caused us to feel inadequate and has done so unpleasantly. But my friends, with Elevated Not Tolerated, we want you to rise above all of those things because you deserve to be empowered, embraced, and educated to be elevated and not tolerated. Guess what? We'll see you real soon. You never know when. Keep watching.